The Lamenters are a Blood Angels successor chapter from the 21st Founding, also known as the Curse Founding, as many of its chapters suffered unfortunate fates or mutations. The Lamenters suffered no mutations, but were known for being particularly unlucky, having experienced near constant misfortune since their founding. Many other chapters from the Curse Founding rose up in rebellion in the 37th millennium. To avoid being involved on either side of the conflict, the Lamenters went on a self-imposed crusade for 1,500 years, often intervening to protect remote worlds, only to be faced by cruel twists of fate. Eventually, the Lamenters were ordered to relocate to the outskirts of the Eye of Terror in order to help repel Chaos incursions. During the Ninth Black Crusade, the defense of Corellia fell to the Lamenters and the Mortifactors. However, the Mortifactors refused to fight alongside the Lamenters due to their reputation as a cursed chapter and abandoned them to defend Corellia alone. The Lamenters fought a brutal 6-week defense against the Black Legion that left them with only 200 Marines. Shortly afterward, the surviving members of the chapter were caught in a warp storm. The Administratum deemed the chapter destroyed until they re-emerged a century later, having battled out of the warp. After the chapter had returned to full strength, it was sent to police the Maelstrom Zone with the Mantis Warriors, Astral Claws, and Channel Guard. The 4 chapters launched an effective offensive into the Maelstrom until the Channel Guard were reassigned. After a brief cameo from the Black Templars, the newly appointed chapter master of the Astral Claws essentially dragged the Lamenters and Mantis Warriors into a civil war against the Imperium by refusing to pay Imperial tithes. The Imperium responded by throwing the entirety of the Star Phantoms, Fire Angels, Firehawks, Minotaurs, and Chacharodon's chapters at the Secessionists, as well as part of the Salamanders, Exorcists, Howling Griffins, Marines Errant, Nova Marines, Raptors, Red Scorpions, and Sons of Medusa chapters. The Secessionists, on the other hand, were joined by the Executioners, who owed the Astral Claws payment from an ancient oath. The Lamenters' participation in the war ended after the chapter was brutalised by the Minotaurs. Turns out the Astral Claws had grown their chapter to over 3 times the limit outlined in the Codex Astartes, and were looking increasingly more heretical. The Lamenters were found to be non-heretical, but were sentenced to a 100-year penitent crusade, in which they flew directly into the jaws of Hive Fleet Kraken, and by some miracle survived. The last we've heard from the Lamenters, they were called to assist the Blood Angels during the devastation of Baal, which they unsurprisingly declined.